I want to talk about children and dogs, and I prepared a PowerPoint so I can share with the points. I've chosen 20 different things that we should teach children about dogs in order to make it more pleasant for the dogs and, of course, more safe and enjoyable for the children as well. So this is important to consider when you have children and are considering getting a dog, or maybe you already have a dog, or if you don't have a dog but you have children. I think it's also a very, very good idea to teach them how to interact with dogs. And children, they are wonderful to teach things. They are so easy to, to explain things and so on. They have the innocence still. So when we tell them the behavior of the dogs and why we shouldn't do it, they are more prone to listening than we are when we are getting older. So let me just start by sharing my PowerPoint here on the screen. And I'll go through all the 20 important things. I'm sure there are more, but we don't want to overwhelm you. And okay, let me find the PowerPoint. There you go. Okay. So these are 20 important things that we should teach our children. Like I said, I think there are definitely more things we can teach them about dogs and dog behavior, but these 20 things that I'm going to talk about is basics. Let's call them basics. It's to ensure that both your child and the dog is safe and thriving in the environment. So it's teaching your child to be safe around children is essential for the child's well-being as well as the dog's well-being, of course. And here are the tips that I've chosen to talk about today on what to teach your child to be safe around dogs. So first of all, we need to start early. So we should begin to teach the children about dog safety as early as possible, even before they encounter dogs in real life situations. So I think it's a very good idea to use a plush dog to practice on. It's actually a great opportunity to give your child one of these really nice plush dogs so you can practice on that dog. Number 2 is to supervise interactions. Always, we need to be there. Always supervise your child when they're around dogs, whether it's your own dog or a dog they meet in public. Never let your children be alone with your dog, even if it's your dog. And the age there, I've had this question many times, at what age can I let my child be alone with my dog? And sorry, the phone is just ringing. At what age can the child be alone with the dog in a room, unsupervised? And there is no good answer to that, because it depends on the child. It really depends on the child, what they know and how they behave around the dog. But better to be safe than sorry. So my opinion, don't do it until you are 200% sure that it's okay. Number 3, ask for permission. So teach a child to ask for permission, never to approach a dog without first asking the owner for permission. And they should let the dog approach them. So if you or your children meet a dog that is not your dog, then always let the dog approach you. Don't when I did some research for this talk today, and I Googled meeting dogs and so on, there are many good advices out there, how to reach out your hand, how to, how you should behave when you are approaching the dog, to pet the dog, to touch the dog. And for the dog's well-being, it's always best to let the dog approach you. So a good dog owner, a caretaker who knows a little bit about his own dog and dogs in general, if you ask him if you can touch the dog or pet the dog, then he or she would tell you that it's up to the dog to decide. So if the dog wants to come to you, then fine. And if it doesn't, then that should be fine too. We need to respect the dog. Number 4, observe body language. So help your children to learn to read a dog's body language. Explain that a wagging tail does not necessarily mean it's a happy dog, and they should watch signs for fear, aggression, and stress. For example, growling, showing the teeth, raised hackles, and so on. So all distance increasing signals. And again, the go-to information about the signs, the calming signs, and the distance increasing signs, the signs they use when they don't feel comfortable or they feel threatened, is in the book by Turid Rugaas on Talking Terms with Dogs. So that's a must read, I would say, for all dog owners. Number 5, no sudden movements. So instruct your child not to make sudden movements or loud noises around dogs, as this can startle or upset them, or make the play be more robust or more energetic. Maybe that's not what you want. Most probably it's not what you want. So no sudden movements, just to act calm around dogs. Number 6 is to respect personal space, to teach your child to respect a dog's personal space, especially when it's eating, sleeping, and resting, or caring for puppies. But in general, always respecting the dog's need for personal space. Teach the child not to tease or to do some rough playing. That's not good for the dog or for the child. And emphasize that teasing or poking or engaging in rough play with dogs is not allowed. Do not chase the dog or pull its ears or tail or any part of the body for that sake. So just don't tease or start engaging in very rough play. And it should always be supervised. Number 8, approach dogs calmly. So teach your child to approach dogs calmly and quietly. They should avoid running or screaming, as this can excite or scare the dog. And also they can get startled, the dogs. Senior dogs maybe pay a bit more attention to senior dogs. I'm almost scared to say to pay more attention to some kind of dogs, but keep in mind that senior dogs might not hear as well or see as well as other adult dogs. So they do get startled if we are approached suddenly or from behind when we can't see them. Yeah, goes for humans and animals. So approach them calmly. Number 9 is petting techniques. And this is where also the plush dog is great to practice on. Show your child how to pet a dog gently in the direction of the fur, and explain that some dogs may not like to be touched on certain parts of their bodies, so they should be cautious. So this is where I should have my plush dog, but it's actually I don't have it here. I do have one. Hold on. I'll show you. So this is This is a plush dog that I have. So when we touch a dog, this goes for our dogs, not only strange dogs, dogs you don't know, but any dog. They prefer to be touched on the side. Let me see so I can see the camera here. So on the side, but the side that is closest to you. So this side, let me see, I can sit like this. And then to touch it like this, stroke with the hairs, yeah? On the side that's closest to you. Because if we do this, if you bend over the dog, it can feel a bit intimidating or threatening for the dog. So always better on the side like this, gently with the hairs. And of course, we know that now, no touching on the head, or on the nose or anything like that, tail, start here, okay? Use a plush dog to practice. Number 10, no hugging or kissing. Explain that not all dogs are comfortable with hugs or kisses. Actually, this is sad news for us humans, that for a lot of dogs, being held tight it doesn't feel that nice, it doesn't feel great for a lot of dogs. They can get used to it, yes, but surprisingly many dogs do not enjoy it, not even by people they know well. It's just the thing of holding tight and not being able to move or escape when they want to. So that's just like a rule of thumb to look at that and to make sure that your dog is enjoying being touched as well. So encourage your child to show affection through gentle petting instead. No hugs and kisses. We see a lot of these cute pictures on social media where children are hanging around the neck of the dog, sitting on top of the dog, all that kind of thing. These pictures are not cute. And very often you also see on the pictures or the films that the dog is actually showing very, very strong calming signals, and some even distance increasing signals, meaning that they start to feel threatened. And now it's a potentially dangerous situation for your child. So this we need to stop, and you also need to stop sharing these pictures, and you have to stop, putting likes and smiles and hearts because they're not cute. So when I looked for pictures of children and dogs to have on my PowerPoints or posts and something, 90%, at least 90, more than that even, is those cute pictures where children are hanging on to the dog. Okay, number 11, do not disturb sleeping dogs. Teach your child never to wake up a sleeping dog, as startled dogs may react differently, and it's not nice for the dog either. You don't get good quality sleep if you constantly are being woken up. And that goes for you too, my friend, even though if your puppy or your adult dog looks so cute when he or she is sleeping, try not to wake him up. Try not to stop and start petting and, touching. I know we want to, but it's plenty of time to do that when he's awake. It's just respecting, their space, and the fact that if you do get woken up several times during your sleep, you get tired. It's exhausting after a while, and especially if you're in a household with lots of people and everyone wants to touch the dog. So don't do that. Teach your children not to do it as well. Number 12, give treats safely. So if your child wants to give a treat to a dog, even to your own dog, this is also something that we should do. All of these things that we teach our children, of course, we need to do them as well. It's not only the child, but you have to be the role model showing the child. So I don't have treats. Actually, I don't have any treats in the house, to be honest. Normally I don't. So what can I use to show? Okay. I don't really have anything that looks like a treat, but the safest way for everyone, especially children with small hands, is to offer the treat in your palm. Let's just pretend that this lip thing is a treat. It's a big treat. So like this, yeah? And don't stretch your hand out. Just hold your hand there. And you know what happens when you do that? Is that the dog will automatically be more careful when they go and take the treat, as opposed to what we sometimes do, or very often do. We hold the treats between our fingers like this, and we actually, when you think about it, put our fingers into the dog's mouth, which is not very clever. And it's really not good with small children's hands to do that. Even though the dog doesn't want to hurt your child, it's just accidents. When the dog really wants to treat and it bites, chews, wants to get the treat like this, of course, his teeth will, end up somewhere here on the fingers instead while he's taking the treat. So always a good idea to hold it in your palm. And this is a good thing if you get a puppy as well, to teach your puppy or to always give the treat like this. You will get a dog that will be more calm when he or she is taking treats from you. So that's a good tip. Number 13, speak softly. Explain to your child to speak to the dog in a soft, calm voice. Shouting or screaming can startle the dog and is just not nice, inside or outside. We don't shout and scream. Yeah. Number 14, respect no and boundaries. So if the owner or the caretaker of a dog signals that they don't want the interaction, teach your child to respect that and give the dog space. 14, no disturbing when the dog is eating. It's very important to let the dog be alone while it's eating, be left alone when it's eating, from you and from the children. So teach your child to leave the dog alone so that he or she can enjoy the meal in peace, and doesn't have to eat fast because he's worried that someone will take his food. So not only leave the dog alone, but stay away from the dog. Don't stand next to him waiting for him to eat or to finish eating. And along with that, no touching of the food. This is old-fashioned. I know we were taught this in the 80s and 90s, that for the reason of dominating your dog, which we now know it's a stupid thing anyhow, is to put our hands in the food bowl and that kind of stuff. Just don't do it. We know better now. We know that you're not supposed to do it. And no one, including your children, should not put their hands into the dog's food bowl. Never. 17, do not take objects out of the dog's mouth. So teach your children not to take anything by force or just take it out of the mouth. Anything, sticks, toys, bones, whatever it would be that your dog is carrying in his mouth. What he holds in his mouth is his. Even if the dog is holding on to the object with his paws or have the paws on top of it in the dog's world, that means this is now mine. When the dog leaves the bone or whatever it is, leaves it on the floor, walks away, then it's open for everyone else to take it. But don't take anything out of the mouth. If your dog has something that he's not supposed to have in his mouth, then tell your child to tell you about it so you can handle the situation. Okay? And never, ever, don't take things by force out of the mouth. If you really want to avoid problem behavior and avoid having a dog that starts guarding things, don't do that. Number 18, move away. This is important. This is why calming and distance increasing signals is so important to know. So you should know about them and you should teach your your children about them. So if the dog is moving, showing any kind of distance increasing signals, which we pretty much are very good at recognizing, that's growling, it's showing teeth, maybe ears going behind, hackles raised, but it's the whole situation, okay? So smiling can also be a distance increasing signal. I had a consultation years ago, and I remember it very well, because their dog was, in particular, he smiled, like he showed teeth in the way that we think looks like a smile. So we think it's a cute thing. But that was his way of showing a very strong, calming, now distance increasing signals, like stay away, I feel uncomfortable in this situation. So that was this particular dog's way of showing that enough is enough, give me space. Because right after that, he would start growling and even snapping. So you need to know the signals, and you need to be able to see them in the context, in the situation, in the environment there and then, okay? And you need to teach your children about that as well. Number 19, stop if dogs are chasing. So if a dog is chasing or running after the child, you need to tell the child to stop running, because the more the children is running, the more the dog will be chasing. And if the child gets scared or worried, maybe he or she will start screaming or crying or something while running. That will just create more tension. So it's always better to stop. And that is why, that's not the only reason why, but that's one of the good reasons why you should always be there and supervise when there are dogs and children. They should not be alone. So if the dog is chasing the child, or the child is chasing the dog, just stop it, okay? And that is our responsibility to do. And the last thing I have today on this list is puppy biting and jumping, because this is a very usual problem. Kids, of course, they have smaller hands, thin skin, and, they're all a bit active, more active than we are. So you need to teach the child what to do if the dog is jumping and or starts to bite on the child, towards the child. It's not that your puppy is aggressive, but it's getting more, what's the right word for it? It's just getting more energy into it. It becomes more stressful, the whole play. It gets more rough, and the biting can be more rough, and everything is just not good for the puppy or the child. So again, you need to be there and supervise. Okay, that's it. That's what I had. That's the 20 important points. What should a child do exactly if a puppy starts to bite hands or clothes? Okay. They should do exactly what we do, and that is to stop movement, okay? Because the more we move, the more they will move. They are made like it's a machine inside them that says, I have to move when something is moving, and especially puppies. They haven't been trained, they haven't been used to interacting with humans as much yet. So they're in the process of learning this. And one of the worst things we can do in cases like this is to move even more. But I, of course, understand that it's difficult to ask a young child to hold his hand still and let the puppy bite on it. Again, that's why we always need to be there to supervise. So if you are there, you would get the dog's attention away from the child using, for example, the attention sound or a toy or anything you have nearby there and then to get the dog away from the child, to get the attention away from this child, and then the biting will stop too. So maybe this could be a live for, a whole live we can talk about puppy biting, actually, because it's a It is a problem because they have teeth like, you know, sharks, very, very sharp teeth. And I remember that as well. When I meet a puppy or when I get a puppy, you know, 20 years in between, I realize, oh my God, it's really, really sharp teeth. So, and we have a lot of free stuff, by the way. If you go to our website, nordicdogtrainer.com, and you see free resources in the menu, click there and you can access more than 50 hours of free lectures and training. It's recorded lectures by Turid Rugaas for free. And we have Facebook groups where we did lives or, you know, free courses with hours of training. So free resources, and our webpage is the place to go to get these free resources. Okay. I wish you a very nice weekend, everyone. Take care and share this. I don't speak a lot about dogs and children, so it's a good thing I, you know, remember to do that this time. It's important that we teach our children to be safe around dogs. Bye.